What's good, guys? We back again with the Real Soft Foil podcast. We finna get into this 1090J QCP and Whack 100 situation once again. So hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We finna go ahead and get into this video. 1090J done got the whole documentary about QCP and snitch paperwork. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that video. Hit that like button. Let's go on and get it.
And no weapon would be recovered, but Keon would be charged with that. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on P from the QC music label, the CEO of the music label, snitching on a man and getting him a 20-year prison sentence. May 27th, 2010. It was 8:45 p.m. when an off-duty officer working at the Lenox Mall in Atlanta advised over the radio he was with a man who stated a black man named Keon was leaving the mall in a brown tinted four-door and that Keon was wanted for murder. Two additional officers responded to the area, locating a brown Oldsmobile matching the description given. The vehicle was pulled over with two men and a woman inside, with the front passenger being identified as Interior's Keon McClinton, who officers confirmed had a murder warrant out of Fulton County. An investigator arrived at the mall where the call originated and met with Pierre Thomas, who's more commonly known as P, the CEO of Quality Control Music. P stated to the investigator he was at the mall when he recognized the man he knew as Keon. P told the investigator Keon was the same man who previously shot him and killed his friend, which led to the warrant for murder. P would continue by telling the investigator he confronted Keon, even chasing him to his vehicle where Keon grabbed a handgun. That's when P would run for the mall as Keon chased behind him saying, "I'm gonna kill you." P would state he was in fear for his life, hid in the mall, and came back out to see Keon was leaving the area. P would also provide a written statement. According to the written statement, Pierre listed himself as a victim or witness and wrote, "I confronted him about murder and chased him to the car. He got a pistol and chased me in the mall, threatening to kill me." The officer would write, "How do you know the subject?" And P would answer, "He shot me and killed my friend." The officer then asked, "What type of gun was it?" And P answered, "A black handgun." On a second piece of paper, the officer would ask, "Did he make any comments?" And P would write, "I'm gonna kill you." The officer then wrote, "Did you fear for your life?" And P answered, "Yes." Pierre Thomas would sign both pieces of paper along with the witnessing officer who received the statement. Keon would be read his Miranda rights before saying he was at the mall when a man with a red hat approached him, repeatedly asking if he knew him and saying he knew who he was. Keon said the man's friends began to surround him when he took off running to the car. Reaching the car, he pointed his finger at the man with the hat who was now leaving the scene. Keon denied having a firearm or pointing one at anyone. The vehicle would be impounded and no weapon would be recovered, but Keon would be charged with aggravated assault anyways and taken to jail to also face the murder warrant. 8 days later, Keon would be indicted on charges of aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony for allegedly pointing a handgun and threatening Pierre Thomas. Within the witness list, P would be the only civilian listed, and his statement would be the only evidence against Keon. Incarcerated for roughly 3 months, Keon would be indicted on 7 new charges. The state would allege that on December 8th, 2009, Pierre Thomas, or P, went over to an apartment complex belonging to Karan Dennis. P had intended on playing Xbox and betting on a basketball game within the apartment that was said to be a marijuana trap house. While at the apartment, a man that evidence later identified as Keon arrived looking for the apartment owner Karan, who was outside walking the
Hey guys, we're giving away a limited amount of these hats. All you gotta do is search for this model number in the Blue On app, check availability.
We don't do ass.
was outside walking the dog. P told Keon to come back a little later. Karan would make his way back to the apartment, and not long after, Keon would arrive looking to buy marijuana. When Karan went to get it, Keon was said to have opened fire, shooting Karan multiple times before firing at P. P would run for the sliding glass door, making his way 2 apartments over, where he told the tenant he'd been shot and to call the police. Karan would die from his injuries, and investigators would determine it to be a murder robbery. Through the course of the investigation, police interviewed P, the surviving victim. P provided them with a description stating the suspect was approximately 6 feet tall, 200 pounds with a mohawk, and a possible tattoo on his face. Time would go by since the day of the shooting, and P would occasionally relay information to the police about stuff that he had heard on the street, identifying Keon, a suspect, or who he heard might have been responsible for killing his friend. He provided some info to the police, and they were able to put a person into a photo lineup, but P did not make an identification. A few more months went by, and P provided information to the police that he had heard that the suspect was the victim. 5 months had now passed since P had been shot, and with a new photo.
So, as you can see, QCP did a lot of fucking telling and snitching in this case. But what was really interesting was, Whack 100 going at, 1090 Jake for, exposing the paperwork that he did. You know what I'm saying? So it was really kind of unfair to me in the situation. So, what I'm thinking is that Whack 100 is probably on the side with the rats. So, I'm going to go in and play that audio for you guys. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. It's the Real Software Podcast.
About it, I'ma just look into it and see what I can find. Maybe it's tucked away, maybe it's sealed, maybe it's whatever. It took me less than 15 minutes and like $30 to get every single fucking document in the case.
Man, that's crazy. So how do you feel about his response today? Saying that, basically like, he ain't no street nigga, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, that's what I said in the video, and that's what I was telling Remo. I was like, all he got to do is say I wasn't in the streets. If he's a businessman and all he's doing is business, and he was the victim of a crime, I don't see what anybody's gonna, have a problem with. But if he was in the streets and he was doing this, that, and the third, which they're alleging he was, then I'm.
So, as you can see, man, now they're trying to say, oh, he wasn't a street guy, but you promote street guys, and you know what they're doing, but you're not trying to lead them to a better place or, with their careers. It all doesn't make sense, man. So, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. It's the Real Software Podcast. I'm out.